When you think that only vegetables and fruits is good for you.
Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan, and a big shout out to my moderator Peter for suggesting that I check out this video from this TikToker guy that I responded to a few times in the past, PrimalPhysique. And the reason why I responded to him back then is that he was just talking major crap about vegans and veganism. But upon watching his videos, it's completely painfully obvious that he has no idea at all what veganism is. And fast forward to the present, you think, a little older, a little wiser. No, didn't learn jack crap. He still has no idea what veganism is. PrimalPhysique. If you hear about my videos, just watch and learn. As you'll see in his videos, he's so concerned about us evolving and becoming more wise and intelligent or something like that. Well, be the shining example that you want people to be like, and don't be so dumb and ignorant about what veganism is.
I speak against veganism the same way I speak against Christianity.
I mean, why waste your time and energy pissing off just one group of people when you can piss off and offend two groups of people? But given that this is a vegan channel here, not a Christian or a religious channel or something like that, I'm going to ignore whatever he says about religion. I'm not endorsing anything he says. I'm going to focus solely on what he says here about vegans and veganism.
I am not anti-vegetables or anti-Jesus.
All right, I'm glad you're not anti-vegetable. Nice. You're not against non-sentient edible plants. Perfect. But as we'll see here, you're bigoted towards humans. You're completely anti-vegan.
I truly think that vegetables and Jesus are amazing. It only becomes a problem when you think that everything outside of vegetables or anything outside of Jesus is bad.
Everything outside of vegetables is bad. Like, what does that even mean? And I really want to know, where in the hell did you get this idea that, as you seem to be representing here, that this is something that vegans believe? It's like a core part of our belief system? All right, I'm going to be really charitable here. I think he's just really horrible at communicating, verbalizing what's going on up here in his carbohydrate-deprived brain. That, vegans think everything outside of vegetables is bad. First of all, that's just patently absurd. I mean, I'm talking into a camera right now. That's not a vegetable, and I think my camera is good. And animals, of course, they're not vegetables. We love them.
When you think that only vegetables and fruits is good for you, or when you think that all other religions is a lie, that is when I think you've trapped yourself into delusion.
Yes, he obviously has no idea what veganism is. He thinks it's some kind of diet, and not only a kind of diet, it's a diet that is at its core, at its essence, good for you. Again, that's not what veganism is. It's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. And if you looked closely at that definition there, PrimalPhysique, it mentions nothing about being good for you or that anything that's not a fruit or vegetable or grain is bad for you. That's you inserting your own messed up interpretation of what you think veganism is. So are you paying attention, PrimalPhysique? 3 things you can learn right now about what veganism. First of all, it's a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. Secondly, it's not a diet. Can you repeat that with me really slowly here, PrimalPhysique? Veganism is not a diet. Thirdly, veganism is not something we do because we think it's the only healthy food in the world for us. But that being said, if you eat a well-planned, well-balanced vegan diet, health organizations from around the world, after having reviewed the scientific literature, have made position statements about the nutritional adequacy of vegan diets. And for further anecdotal personal evidence, PrimalPhysique, look no further than my Blood Labs playlist here. I'm in my 50s. Most guys my age are obese and out of shape and on multiple meds. I'm on no meds, not deficient in anything, super high testosterone. Check it out, bro. You'll love it.
And what is needed for both personal and collective growth is clarity to see what really is and the courage to do what is right.
I mean, that is rich. The clarity to see what really is. I mean, like he sees truth and I can't or something like that. I mean, if anything, if anyone's showing a lack of understanding about what is true, it's him, because he has, as I shown here, no understanding of what veganism is. He thinks it's a diet, for heaven's sake.
And what is needed for both personal and collective growth is clarity to see what really is.
So since you talk a big talk there about what is needed for personal growth is clarity and truth and all that, you can take the first step right now, PrimalPhysique, and understand what veganism is. So next time when you make a stupid video talking about veganism, maybe you won't make a stupid video talking about veganism. And that'll do wonders for your personal growth, not putting bullshit into the universe.
It's clarity to see what really is and the courage to do what is right.
and the courage to do what is right. I mean, there's just so much wrong there. Like, what's so courageous about paying an exploited human worker to slaughter an exploited animal so you can buy a burger at the store? That takes zero courage. I argue it takes infinitely way more courage to take a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation as a vegan, because in essence, you're taking a stand against the status quo of the world. You're taking a stance against all the industries and businesses that have been in place for decades, if not centuries, who profit off the bodies of sentient beings. And when you get down to it, you've kind of taken a vow to make your life a little less convenient. It's not as easy to go out to any restaurant and just put any old food in your mouth. And also, as a vegan, you've pretty much taken a vow, whether you want to or not, to be a weird kind of outsider in this world, given that only like maybe at best 2 or 3% of the human population is vegan, which means 98% of the human population disagrees with us. And a huge percentage of those go out of their way to criticize us and give us crap and make crap videos like PrimalPhysique here, because somehow we're living rent-free in your guys' heads. I mean, but no, I'm not buying your argument here, PrimalPhysique, that it takes courage to eat meat and, you know, stand up against the vegetables or something like that. I mean, let me see, is this your argument? Premise number 1, eating meat is tough. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Premise number 2, oh, boo-hoo, it's so tough eating meat and stuff. Conclusion, therefore, eating meat is great. It's great for your clarity and truth, and veganism is bad. Did I get that right? Is that pretty much the shape of your argument there from your video? And after having made hundreds of response videos to these anti-vegan types, I've noticed a pretty strong pattern that most of them are believers in just like fringe, wacky, almost conspiracy theory-like information. Just check out this video of his from his YouTube.
So for the past 3 years, I never wore shoes or socks.
I mean, really though, if he really wants to not wear any shoes or socks for the rest of his life for whatever reasons it makes him feel more like an ape or something like that, cool. You know, if that's his dream in life, more power to him. Kind of question though the sincerity of him doing that. I think it's just part of a grift. And also too, it's probably a lot easier for him to do that out there being a shirtless influencer in a jungle than it is for people like us that live in cities. Oh yeah, but also according to him, living in cities is bad.
I think the main reason why people nowadays are so unhappy is simply because they're living in cities.
And what's even worse, he's also giving overweight guys some kind of guilt trip into thinking women won't want to have sex with them ever.
If you're fat, you don't respect yourself because you're not doing what you know you should be doing. And no amount of money can cover that. And if you don't respect yourself, then she will also not respect you. And she will not sleep with you.
So now that he just gaslit you overweight guys to not have any self-respect for yourself, and knowing now you'll never definitely get laid again, now what you need to do is follow all his YouTube and TikTok advice to get shredded and eat a bunch of meat, and that'll solve your problems. I mean, that's such a dick move.
And what is needed for both personal and collective growth is clarity to see what really is and the courage to do what is right.
So really, if you want to have personal and collective growth, Mr. PrimalPhysique, I encourage you to do what is right. First, understand what veganism is. If you have a hard time remembering, just rewind the video. I laid out really clearly what veganism is. Just hint, it's not a diet. And with that newfound clarity and truth about what veganism really is, maybe next time you get the urge to make a video about how veganism is bad or something like that, maybe you won't make it, because now you'll understand what veganism is, and there's no way to really complain about what veganism is unless you have a problem with people having a stance against animal cruelty and exploitation. But I totally fail to understand why people doing these primal grifts or carnivore grifts need to complain about vegans. Just do your thing. I don't talk about you guys. I really don't give a crap what you do. The only time I talk about you guys is when I respond to nonsense you said about us. But anyway, if you somehow find yourself believing everything he said to be true and everything I said is complete gibberish nonsense, I would love to hear from you. Please come to my next live stream, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be civil, and we could perhaps have a conversation. So until then, hit like, share this video, hit the notification bell, and until I see you guys Friday, remember, it doesn't suck being vegan.